schedule, but apparently all the action's at City Hall. I'm going to follow this nice young journalist down there. All right. Well, that makes sense, because I was going to say I saw a bunch more people than normally on downtown Austin, which is usually pretty busy on a Saturday, but it was much more, and I was wondering where they're at. So now I know, but it was good that we and set some of the scenery for you. So once again, Owen Schroyer here for Infowars.com. We are live in downtown Austin, Texas. We are tracking the March for Our Lives, which apparently is down at City Hall, which is where I gave my address to City Council this week. Probably about maybe half a mile from here. That's where a lot of these marches actually start, is down at City Hall. But some of them usually start up here. So this one down at City Hall, we're going to head that way. But how about, I mean, it was too obvious that they were going to try to shut me down. So first they tried to shut me down when I went to sit in those chairs that were totally empty. So they shut me down on that, predicted that. And then they tried to shut me down again. They say, well, the press needs to check in. They can check in? See, these people are all about control, okay? Get in line. And then, see, but it's all about their control, because you notice they don't want border control. No, they want to control an American citizen from recording and reporting from the scene. But they don't want to control a wide open border that could have violent criminals pouring over it. Oh, wait, that does have violent criminals pouring over it, coming here, murdering and raping people. That's just a fact. But, you know, I show up, and I need to check in. Check in. See, these people are so predictable. And then you just say, no, I have a First Amendment right, and they back down. Because that's it. What else are they going to do? And you saw the one individual, the police officer, who was kind of going along with it. I think he may have even wanted to kick me out. See, this is the funny thing, too. Here, I know that I'm going to get this by the end of the day. Well, you came here with an NRA hat. You're looking for trouble. No, I'm not. I'm wearing a hat. Is looking for trouble? That's like me going to a Chicago Cubs game in Chicago wearing a St. Louis Cardinals hat. So I'm wearing my Cardinals hat at the Cubs game in Chicago, and they're like, you can't wear that here. You can't have a Cardinals hat. It's like the Cardinals are playing the Cubs. I'm in town, and it's like, no, take that hat off. So you know, by the end of this deal, that people are going to be telling me that I can't have this hat, that I'm trying to cause, you know, a commotion by wearing a hat. And it's like, dude, if you're triggered by a hat, I don't think I'm the one with the problem. But you know, we'll let you ponder on that. Yeah. Again, I just... They use these buzzwords like common sense, but then they have none. I just don't get it. I mean, I guess I get it, but it doesn't make sense. It's a happy day in the neighborhood. About 70 degrees here in Austin. Sun tucked away behind a heavy layer of clouds. What do you think? I'm a pretty good weatherman, right? We hope there's no precipitation in the forecast today. Storm clouds rolling in around 3. The march should be concluded by then. And if the crazy gun owners point their guns at the sky and shoot the storm clouds down, we'll all make it home safe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the march has begun. They are coming down Congress right now. We will intercept right here and check it out. Oh, yeah, we're marching against guns, baby. Hey, you know, I bet when Nicholas Cruz came into the school, if they would have started marching, if they just all would have got together and marched and chanted, stop the gun, gun control now, it probably would have stopped the whole thing. If they would have marched at Columbine, we could have stopped that. If they would have marched at Sandy Hook, all they had to do was march, folks. We just didn't know it. They want gun control now. They want it now, folks. They don't want to vote. See, here's the thing. These people are actually in the minority, but they're under the illusion of being in the majority because they like to organize.
How's it going?
Hey, how are you today?
How's it been fucking over democracy? Go fuck yourself.
Wow, very classy. Just an exemplary.
You're killing children. Killing children.
Yeah, well, why don't we protect the children with firearms then? Wow, just exemplifying class out here.
We got the power! We got the power! We got the power! We got the power!
All right, going in. All right, we're right in the middle of the March for Our Lives now. Let me tell you, when the founders of this country knew that the British soldiers were threatening their lives and killing them and their families, they didn't march and they didn't turn their guns in. They picked them up and they created the greatest country in the history of the world. Still is to this day. But if these people have their way, we'll turn into a third world hellhole like Mexico, where you're not allowed to have a gun, and violent gun crimes are one of the biggest problems in Mexico, where you're not even allowed to have a gun. Riddle me that. But we're marching. We're going to control an inanimate object. We're going to figure it out. I swear that gun that can't do anything without a human, we'll get it under control. Yep, cheer them on. They're chanting never again. But here's the thing. If you took guns away, school shootings would actually go up. Violent crime would actually go up in this country if you got rid of the Second Amendment. That's history. Just read a history book. But if a school zone wasn't a gun-free zone, do you think that mass shooters would go into it? No, they go to the school zone. They go to the school zone because they know it's a soft target.
כן. ביואי רוח השם. עכשיו 11 ו-13 דקות, אני פשוט מטעין את הטלפון ואז אני אלך כבר למדורה. אספתי כבר קרשים במהלך השבוע. אני אמרתי לבוס שלי, פשוט אנחנו עובדים בנגרות, ואמרתי לו את כל הקרשים שאנחנו לא צריכים, את השאריות. אני אעמיס אותך באוטו שלך, ואז כשאתה מוריד אותי בבית, נשים את זה שם בזולה. אז עכשיו יש לי מלא קרשים. מה אתה אומר? כן, מה, הוא אמר לי גם שיש לו גם גריה, בית מלאכה, צמוד לסביון, אז הוא אמר לי שאם אני רוצה אני אבוא ויקח את כל הזבל שלו בחינם. היי. אני אמרתי את זה בסרטון. אני אמרתי את זה בסרטון, מה, לא הקשבת? כן, תקשיב לי שאני מדבר איתך בסרטון. זה עץ שהוא מברזיל, וגם אם הוא נשרף לאט, אני לא פוחד, מה, אני לא מפחד, שישרף לאט, שיקח את הזמן. בואי רוח השם. יפה. סבבה. למה? יפה. בואי רוח השם. יופי, יופי. אתה יודע שאם אני לא שם תחפושת של דתי, אז אנשים לפעמים כועסים אם אני עושה מבטא של דתי. עכשיו אפשר חופשי. מבטא. דתי אשכנזי כזה של יידיש. אז בלי התחפושת אנשים יכולים לכעוס, אתה מבין? אז עכשיו עם התחפושת הם כבר, הם מתביישים ממני שהם בלי תחפושת, אתה מבין? לאן הגענו? תקשיב, מחר ב9 בבוקר אני מתייצב, לקחת חבילת מזון בחינם. אז סבבה, אני מחר אשגע אותם בטלפונים, פשוט התקשרתי היום, ולפעמים היא לא עונה, כי בפגישות עם עוד פרזיטים, זה לא רק אני פרזיט. אתה מבין? אז לא רק אני, parasite, אתה יודע מה זה parasite? parasite זה מילה באנגלית, לא בעברית, זה מילה שבאה לתאר סוג של תולעת, אבל זה לא חייב להיות תולעת, זה יכול להיות חיה מסוימת שנמצאת בתוך גוף של האדם, ופשוט מאוד היא ככה חיה שם, ואז יש לו שלשולים, והוא לא מבין למה יש לו שלשולים, והוא לא מבין למה הוא רעב אם הוא מקודם אכל, ולמה הוא מרגיש חלש, וזה בגלל שהתולעת אוכלת את כל מה שהוא אוכל. כן, המדינה זה כמו תולעת בבטן, אתה עובד קשה, והכל הולך במיסים. אז אתה יודע מה קורה כשאני מתחיל לגנוב את הכסף שגונבים לי? זה מה שקורה כשהסרטן מקבל סרטן. אוקיי, באמת? אז איך שאתה נהיה שם האזרח, מיד תהפוך להיות הסרטן של הסרטן. זה המתכון הכי טוב להצלחה. מה? אז ככה אתה רק חושב. רואה, אתה טועה וטועה בגדול. מה, אתה לא יודע שכשהייתי אצל שנון, השרמוטה מאלבמה, אתה לא יודע שהיא לוקחת אוכל מהמדינה בחינם וקצבה? זאת הסיבה שהיא רצתה לגנוב לי זרע, בשביל לקבל לי יותר כסף אפילו. אני לא שאלתי את הפרטים האלה, כי זה לא מעניין, אבל הנה, עובדה בשטח שזה מספיק בשביל להיות משמעותי. זה תמיד הרי יהיה מספיק בשביל להיות משמעותי, במיוחד בארצות הברית שהכל זול, ואתה תמיד אומר את זה, במיוחד שאתה לא אוכל כשר, אז האוכל שלך זול, והבגדים זול, הכל זול. אז גם אם יביאו לך קצת, אתה יודע איך להתנהל. וזהו, אני בטוח שבכל מצב קצת זה יותר טוב מכלום. אז יאללה, תהיה שרמוטה כמו שנון. אתה רק צריך... כן, עם קושים, קושיות של פסח. עם קושים. ברוך השם. טוב, אני עוד מעט אלך למדורה כבר, אני חייב לעשות קצת ל"ג בעומר היום, בעזרת השם. אני לא יודע, אבל היא שאלה אותי שבוע שעבר אם אני פשוט יוצא מצב ככה שאם אני לא רואה אותה איזה שבוע, שבועיים, ואז במקרה מדבר איתה על משהו, נגיד אני שואל אותה, נו, מה עם התהליך של מה שרציתי? אז כדרך אגב כזה, היא שואלת אותי, אתה רוצה להיפגש? בוא נקבע להיפגש? אז אולי אני בדרך להיפגש איתה, ואז אני אפגש איתה, אני אשאל אותה מה קורה כבר עם כל הדברים שרציתי. אתה מבין? פשוט היא רוצה שאני אספר לה סיפורים כדרך אגב, היא שואלת אותי, נו, איך בעבודה, איך בזה, אז אני סיפרתי לה שקשה לי עם הכושים שהם באים לפה למדינת ישראל, וזה אומרים, קשה לי, שיש לי אפליה, יש אפליה תעסוקתית מול הכושים. הם מקבלים את כל לא, אבל אני אומר לך שהסברתי לדבר הפוך, שהכושים מקבלים יותר זכויות ממני. גם גונבים לי את העבודה וגם גונבים לי את הזכויות. בגלל זה אני רוצה כסף בחינם. דיברה איתי על אופציה מסוימת שנקראת עבודה מוגנת. זה אומר שאני בא לעבודה, לא שמעת אף פעם את המושג עבודה מוגנת, זה לא מוכר לך? אוקיי. זה אומר שהמפעל שבו אתה עובד, הוא לא משלם לך שכר מינימום, הוא משלם לך משהו כמו 15 שקל לשעה, והמדינה משלימה, משלמת לך עוד כסף, ואז בעל המפעל הוא אומר לעצמו, טוב, לא משנה איזה בלגן העובד הזה עושה, כמה הוא מזיין את השכל, כמה הוא אוטיסט, אני אעסיק אותו בשביל לשלם 15 שקל שעה, והמדינה תשלים לי, וככה כולם מבסוטים. אני שובר דברים, מחרבן בעבודה, הולך, חוזר, זה, והוא משלם לי 15 לשעה. לא, מבחינת הקצבה, אני חושב שאמרתי לך את זה בעבר, אם אני לא מרוויח מעל 2,200, אז הקצבה שלי היא בסדר גמור. הלו, כן, שומע, זה לא יפגע. אם כל עוד אני מרוויח בתלוש שכר פחות מ-2,200, אתה שומע? 2,200. מה זאת אומרת? אוקיי. נו כן, אז עכשיו הבוס שלי בנגרות, הוא אמר לי שהוא רוצה להוציא לי תלוש שכר, ושהוא נדפק מזה שהוא לא מוציא לי, ואני אמרתי לו, טוב, תשמע, בוא תוציא לי על 2,200, ואז הוא אמר לי, וואלה, סבבה, וזה גם טוב בשבילי, כי אם יהיה לי תאונת עבודה, אז יש לי תלוש, אוקיי? אז בקיצור, אז כמה מבסוט, אם הוא יוציא לי על 2,200, וזהו. כן. זה כל הסיפור, אתה מבין? בגלל זה אני עובד בנגרות ומסגרות. ונראה לי גם שנגרות ומסגרות זה מקצועות יחסית מכובדים. אני אלך אליו בנגריה, בסביון, אני אקח לו את כל העצים, לשרוף אותם. בעזרת השם. קול טויב. יאללה ביי.
brings you guys out here today?
Gun control.
So that actually seems like a pro-gun sign, though. How is that an anti-gun sign?
No.
Oh, you're like saying, yes, take my gun. Oh, okay, so yes, be a slave.
Yes, what?
Yes, be a slave.
No.
Do you think the slaves that created this country had guns? Do you think they were allowed to have guns?
I think that you're here for your own agenda, and I'm here for my agenda.
No, I'm just asking a question. Do you think the African-American slaves that helped build this country had the rights to guns?
Go talk to somebody else. You're at the wrong rally.
Gotta go.
The NRA, what's the NRA done?
Yeah, you got the hat on.
The NRA instructors stopped a mass shooting in Sutherland.
You're 180, you betrayed the people.
What do you mean? How do we betray the people? You guys are marching against the firearms. That's you betraying the country.
Firearms. That's wrong.
No one's marching against firearms. Okay. Your sign says literally come and take it, but somehow you're not marching against firearms. Semi-automatics like AR-15s, you don't like those?
Exactly, we don't like.
What percentage of gun deaths in this country are committed by...
Used by the military.
Military has full automatic. No, the military needs bigger weapons than that, like fully automatic and tanks and stuff.
That's what they need.
What percentage of violent crime in the United States has an AR involved?
Military.
All right, you can answer the question. Very small amount is the answer, folks. An AR is actually a very small amount of gun crime. Very small. I'm actually from Missouri, where we have constitutional carry, so we have better gun control laws in Texas now.
The amount of gun crime is how effective it is. The issue.
Have you ever shot one?
I have shot guns. I've never shot an AR-15, but I've seen the effects on animals and people from them.
So let's say a guy is coming at you and he's got an AR-15. I mean, a law's not going to stop him. A march isn't going to stop him. And an AR-15 is going to stop him. So what do you want in that situation?
The whole idea is to prevent super deadly guns from getting...
Right, and that's what cops are here for, and that's why they have firearms. So wouldn't we all want to have that ability as independent sovereign citizens?
Cops react after the event.
Bingo, that's why we need to be proactive and have a gun on us.
We have a conversation. I'm not going to...
Thank you for my point. No, see, that's the exact conversation that happens every time, and then they run away because logically they realize their argument doesn't have any founding. Yes, AR-15s are the problem. Well, are illegal people that have them or criminals that have them and want to commit crime, are they going to turn them in? Of course they're not going to turn them in. You're going to turn yours in, and then you're going to be a sitting duck. That's why people shoot up school zones. It's a gun-free zone. But then they want common sense gun control, an inanimate object. Enough is enough. Look at the city of Kennesaw, Georgia. They enacted a law that every house has to have a firearm. It has the least crime in the country. The least crime in the country, folks. Look it up, bud. Enough is enough. I agree. We all have firearms in our homes. We should have more guns in the school. Wow, why do you guys put your butt up against me? You're just a strange fellow. You know that? You should grow up. You seem like an old man. Arrested Development out here live on the streets of Austin, Texas. Yeah, keep the guns out of school. They already were out of schools, ma'am. It's a gun-free zone. Schools are gun-free zones. That's why mass shooters go there. That's called common sense. That's common sense, ma'am. You're brainwashing your children. Look at what Eric Holder said about brainwashing children. This is all the government plan to brainwash you. This is what the Nazis did. This is what the Nazis did to the Jewish people. Do you think the Jews were allowed to have guns during the Nazi regime? Oh, the Nazis let the Jews have guns. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Mao Zedong let the people have guns too. That's why it was the most murderous regime in the history of the world. I'm all right. Thank you, there. Oh, my gosh. You guys are Nazis. Turn in the guns. Literally, that's what the Nazis did. And if you think Trump is Hitler, why would you want to turn the guns into a Nazi president? Oops. Oops. Did your logic just fall through? Yep, sure did. All right. Well, we're back here at the Capitol. People just love being brainwashed, man. They just love it. Give me that Nazi propaganda. Let's turn the guns in. Give me that Chinese communist propaganda. Let's turn the guns in. Yeah. You're a Nazi, but I want to turn the guns in because that's what the Nazis did. Insane. these people hate me. They all stare at me because I have an NRA hat on. How dare I? The NRA has literally not been involved in any mass shootings except for stopping the shooter. So, there you go. And they don't even, this is literally not going to do anything. They've been marching for 2 years, and they can't get anything accomplished because they don't get it yet. They are not the majority. They're the loud minority. We are the silent majority. They are the loud minority. By the way, there is a man walking around here today with his sidearm, his concealed carry, and you notice how his gun hasn't gone wild. You notice how his gun hasn't just broken out of his holster and started killing people. You know why? Because it's an inanimate object. You don't have to control an inanimate object. It's inanimate. And here's the youth leading the march. The Hitler Nazi Brigade, the brown shirts out here. Look at this. This is awful. Brainwashing children like Hitler did. This is literally what Hitler did. You are witnessing a brown shirt Nazi propaganda march in 2018 right here, right now. And then in their next march, they'll say Trump is Hitler, while they are literally replacing the Nazi brown shirts in history right now. Just screaming. Look at people. They always block the sign. They always got to block the sign. Look at this. They always block it. Look at it. Yeah. See? Look at this. Hey, why are you anti-free speech?
I'm not anti-free speech. In fact, I'm very much for free speech.
Why are you blocking my camera?
Because you are
anti-free speech?
No, I'm not anti-free speech. What I'm against is you all, and you're spreading of misinformation.
You calm down. How have I not been calm? You were just screaming at the top of your lungs. Maybe you should calm down. Hey, do you know what the Nazi brown shirts were?
I'm not sure if this guy works for Russia.
Hey, no. The Nazi brown shirts marched. Do you know the Nazi brown shirts marched to turn the guns in too? Did you know that? I have a free speech right. Do I have the right to free speech? I think we should engage, actually. No, I think free speech is the most important thing, and that's how we protect lives. Fake attention. Y'all are giving me all the attention. Well, that's sad that he's being brainwashed to believing this about guns. Dude, y'all came up and talked to me. Tell me why you think gun control is the answer.
That's not what we're here to talk about.
So what are we here to talk about?
We're here to talk about these kids and what they're protesting against, and we're here to support them.
Richard, what are they protesting?
You should talk to one of them.
All right, what are you protesting today? What are you guys protesting today? Can you just answer my question? What are you protesting? Nobody can tell me what they're marching for. What are they marching for? Not one of them can tell me what they're marching for. I just want everyone. Remember how they just said, I'm out of control? Remember how they just said, don't escalate things? Then that's exactly what they did after they gave me all the attention. And then they couldn't even answer the simple question, why are you protesting? Why are you marching? Of course, they're really marching because they can't accept the result of the election, and they just do a bunch of different arguments to complain about the election. If I keep talking, I bet they'll keep chanting. So I'm just going to keep talking here, because this is what I do for a living. And they'll all scream themselves crazy. So enough is enough. They're all screaming it at me as if I've done anything. I'm literally just standing here with a camera, and they're all screaming enough is enough at me. This is insane. I'm in the middle of a Nazi march right now. There's a nice middle finger. Very cute. Very classy. So I just can't wait. She says she's with the rebels, but she's actually for the establishment out here, the one's gun control. Do you think the Imperials would want to take the guns in Star Wars? Well, don't you think the Jedis would have had to turn their lightsabers in? Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why they're marching. Nobody can seem to answer the simple question. Pretty wild, actually. It's never going to be enough because they're going to keep chanting. It's never enough. Just keep chanting about an inanimate object. They're out here protesting an inanimate object. They never talked about the pharmaceutical drugs that say suicide is a side effect. They never talked about the FBI that let crews off the hook, local law enforcement that didn't go into the building during the shooting. They're all brainwashed by Nazi-style propaganda to take the guns. That's what Hitler did. That's what Stalin did. That's what Mao did. And now these are the 21st century Hitler Maoist brown shirts. Wow. The funny thing is, NRA members' sons and daughters are probably protected with firearms. So they're probably have the most assured future of all of us. Funny how that works. Guns don't equal freedom. Yeah, dude, they do. You think slaves are allowed to have guns? I'll start talking to these people later, but I've literally driven them into a total hysteria. I've driven this entire crowd into a total hysteria now, where they come up to me and ask me to calm down, but now they've been chanting for 10 minutes at the top of their lungs at me as if I've done anything. And so now the whole crowd is chanting it. Now, I'm a member of the NRA. I've never hunted anything. I've never even hunted an animal. I've never even hunted an animal. So what are you going to stop? So see, the assumption is that criminals are going to turn their guns in, which is obviously a lunatic assumption. But I'm telling you, I'm just going to keep talking, and they're going to continue to give me all this attention, and they don't even understand that they're embarrassing themselves. It's an hysterical crowd of loonies out here, and they're all screaming at me as if I can hear anything they're saying, as if this is my fault. Say hello to my friends. Say hi, friends. Hi. Hi, friends. Amazing. It's amazing. Look at this. Now they're going to block me. Now they're going to block me. Okay. Now they don't block me. They still can't answer why I'm watching. Literally, they're all surrounding me. Listen how crazy she is. He's not with it. Give him some room. Whatever, man. Hey, you're the only one out here with insanity. You understand. It's all good, man. I agree. It's all okay. But listen. Why? None of them would answer the question. Why are they out here marching? All right. I get it. It's fine. Nobody can tell me why they're marching. See, that guy's smart, though. He realizes that they're just giving me more attention right now. I can do this all day. Hold on. Is that a woman with a beard? Hold up. I think we got it. He can talk. I'm not stopping him from talking. No way. This is too good. I can't leave this. This is crazy, dude. They've been chanting never again for like 3 minutes at me. They're all surrounding me now because I have an NRA hat on. And I asked them why they're marching. And you can review the footage. Nobody can answer why they're marching. Not one person. Well, folks, if you ever want to know what it feels like to be in the middle of a Nazi propaganda rant, watch this video. Now here's the sad thing. The next shooting after the shooting in Florida in Maryland was stopped by a man with a gun. So it was a guy with a gun that stopped the bad guy. But they just ignored that story. It wasn't played in the mainstream news. This is hilarious. They're literally just chancing on. They do nothing.
He's young, right? So he's being brainwashed, right?
Yeah.
Kids his age that are being killed, right?
Okay, so what's your point? That seems kind of culty, don't you think, to stop someone from talking? Alright. Hey, you're good, baby. You're good. Why? You said you tried to talk with me. I'm happy to
We're at a peaceful protest right now. I respect you as a patron and as a brother, and I love your love for our country. I feel the same way. I'm animosity towards you. The organizers that told us not to talk to anyone like that. It's doing what you're doing, and that's all it is. And these kids are trying to do their best, and I appreciate coming out and speaking up what you believe in.
Why do you think they don't want them to talk though?
I don't know. I think it's trying to keep the peace at the event.
That's probably fair. All right. Well, hey, you're great. You're great. I like the Beatles on your shirt too, man. We'll see you around. We'll see you around. Hey, what do you think about Hillary rigging the election from Bernie?
I mean, I already took a picture of you guys. How's Alex Jones doing right now, by the way?
Great. He's actually taking his kids out for a nice weekend.
Oh, really? Really? He's not busy, screaming on TV about nonsense?
No, he's taking his kids out this weekend. But like, pretty much everything he's reported on ended up coming true, though.
Really? Are the frogs gay still?
Yeah, have you heard of atrazine?
Atrazine? Is that what turned?
Yeah, there's multiple scientific studies, including one out of California, Berkeley.
Man, that's weird. It must have turned me gay too.
Actually, maybe it did.
Yeah, I fucking love women.
All right.
Hillary.
All right.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
Probably your best bet. I mean, this is something else here. I promise you won't have any problems with me. As if I'm going to start the right. I'm one guy out here. I literally have a camera in one hand and a mic in the other. Like, what could I even do? Oh, they know what I can do because I have the power of thoughts. I have the power of ideas. That's why they're afraid of me. Because my ideas and my thoughts are more powerful than theirs. That's what scares them. That's why we're changing the world and they're not. Everyone's like, look at the crazy with the NRA hat on. Oh my gosh. These people don't understand that the NRA is a group of millions and millions of citizens. So it's citizens' power. There's more members of the NRA than however many people are going to march today. However many march today against the NRA, there's more members of the NRA. So even if it came down to a vote, they'd be outvoted by the NRA alone. So the people have the power, and that's why the NRA has the power, because the NRA is the people. They don't understand that. They don't understand anything. They don't understand history. If they did, they wouldn't be out here acting like Nazis. See, these people are used to somebody just catering to whatever they want to be said. So they say something, and then you just don't respond because you don't know what offend them. It's like, no, let's have a real conversation. This woman's staring at me. She's going to go turn me in now. She's going to go request that I have to be kicked out. Good luck with that. Ma'am, Did you hear about the Maryland shooting? All right. Well, I mean, it's ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna see what happens if I try to walk through here. I'm going on the move. Excuse me, y'all. They've been changing for about an hour now. They still got no agenda. They have no bills passed. They have no common sense as to why they want gun control. They just march in the streets. A good guy with a gun is the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun every time. That's why the police have guns, and that's common sense. So you realize the NRA is a group of millions of citizens. That's why they have power. Well, you're out here saying we have the power, but the power is with the people in the NRA. It has way more people than are out here marching. The NRA has millions of people, one of the biggest organizations in the country. All right, so do a little research before you make a false statement. Hey, dude, come on, don't follow me around like this. You're starting to annoy me.
I'm doing whatever I want.
Okay, so all right, so you're gonna follow me around and make sure that people don't talk to me. That's cultish.
No, I'm gonna follow you around, make sure that no one gets in any fights or anything.
No one's gonna fight. When have I ever been in a fight when I do this? Never.
I don't know, just follow me around.
I've never been in a fight out here, man. All right, well, you're following me around. Fine, you want to follow me around? I agree. I just think it's weird that you don't want people to talk to me. All right, well, this is you. You created this, dude. You don't have to follow me around. Not me. Huh? What friends? I'll plug your Twitter. Go ahead. Plug your Twitter. Here, he's going to plug the Twitter. This is the guy that doesn't want me to talk to people. Plug it.
At Barack Obama. Follow.
That actually probably makes sense. Barack would want you to stop people from talking to him. No, man, here's the deal. The only reason I want to talk to people is just because I'm trying to change their mind.
I'm following you to make sure if you harass younger women that I stop.
You come over and you tell them you don't have to talk to them, you don't have to talk to them, and then I don't get to have a conversation.
Talk to that girl.
Oh, my God. Come on. All right, so here we go. All right, so you're chanting for gun control, so I'll just talk to you. How do you control an inanimate object?
It's not about controlling it in that sense. It's about having regulations that make sense, that we can implement, that also does not harm the Second Amendment and allows people to protect themselves against the government.
So what happened with Nicholas Cruz, the shooter that caused this whole thing? You think guns were to blame for that?
I think that if he wasn't able to get his hands on those AR-15s and he was only able to buy a lower grade weapon, that lives would have been saved on more than what happened. Yeah.
But you realize he should have failed the background check, and for some reason the FBI didn't have a check there?
You're right about that. Actually, I think that the mental health system that failed him because certain psychologists and attorneys that he visited didn't want to submit him because of the repercussions it would have on his life. I think both the mental health system has failed us with Nicholas, as well as him being able to get his hands on the AR-15.
Why don't people march for mental health awareness instead of gun control?
I think that you bring up a great point because we should. These kids out here today are doing their part on the gun control side, and there hasn't been a social media uprising about the mental health stuff, which needs to happen as well.
That's true, but that would be against the establishment, like big pharmaceutical companies that make billions and billions of dollars on it.
You're right, and that is another issue. We have a lot of issues right now that we need to be fighting for, and a lot of things we need to improve. You're right.
Now, when I was younger and in college, I actually agreed with all the beliefs about gun control and gun violence and stuff. And then when I did a little history researching into Hitler took the guns, Mao took the guns, and now every time the government takes the guns, like in Mexico, it turns into a violent criminal hellhole. And that's what changed my mind, and I realized that the Second Amendment wasn't the answer. That's why I think when these people research history, they'll have a mind change like me. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't let my past, in my own life, I don't let my past determine my future. And I think America and our country is unlike any country in the history of the world. And we have a power that no people in the history of the world have ever had. We're not destined to turn out like Germany or any of these countries or America. We're different. We're moving towards a more prosperous future that no one's ever seen, and that includes our citizens not having AR-15s.
Hey, you are a rare specimen. You're a progressive liberal that can actually talk intelligently, so I salute you for that. I can't find many of you, honestly.
And I salute you for paying as much attention to you as well.
I honestly want ideas from everyone. That's why I come out here and talk to people. All right, dude, I'm going to be moving, so if you want to keep monitoring me, just FYI. All right, I'm going to get a larger shot of the crowd here from the bottom of Capitol. Just to give you an idea, because it's almost 1 o'clock. It's 12:45 right now in downtown Austin, Texas, at the Capitol, and you definitely have at least, I would say, a couple thousand people here. Oh, look at this one. Hey, sir, that's a nice shirt. What don't you like about Trump? Anywhere you'd like. Well, I asked about your shirt. What? Don't look at my shirts. Oh, you can't tell me why you don't like Trump, right? Just like all the others.
Capacity.
I have the brain capacity to tell you why I like Trump.
You have the brain capacity to connect more than 2 dots.
Okay, so let me tell you why I like Trump. He wants a strong border. He's fixing the economy. Why don't you like Trump?
So
I actually was beaten when I acted up. That's why I'm smarter than you.
no, it's not smart. That's what we
You're the one you're obeying the propaganda right now.
weren't allowed to.
She's dabbing, so it says F Trump, take the guns, and then here you are out here like a moron doing it.
You weren't the ability to understand logic and reason, or just be. So the way you make decisions is made.
There is an issue. There is a movement. There is a phenomenon taking place right now that is the #1 issue on this planet, not just for humanity, but for all life forms. Now, I've been on air more than 23 years, but only now, studying how we're attacked by mainstream media and by globalists and by major governments, do I understand the continuum, the ballgame. So this is some of the most important information you're ever going to see or hear, and it's up to you to care about yourself and your family. If you're conscious, you're not an animal, as the globalists think you are. If you're not dead inside, listen to me. I noticed in the last decade, the #1 thing mainstream media will attack me for is when I talk about how the human species, through fluoride and through atrazine and through thousands of other chemicals, is being changed. Our IQs are being lowered, our sexuality is being confused, our fertility is being destroyed. That's a fact. And then I just noticed in the last few years, with all the late night comedy shows and all the Comedy Central shows and the newspapers, 80% of the attacks, including 2 in the last 24 hours, are when I show people Berkeley and Harvard and Princeton and Yale and Cambridge and all these groups saying the manipulation of the genetics and the hormones and the sexuality of amphibians and fish and mammals and everything is out of control. Amphibians are collapsing, fish are collapsing, they are asexual or bisexual, or they are deformed. The male frogs just under a little bit of atrazine go over to the male frogs, their olfactory's changed, try to have sex with them when they can't, they're dying. And we would cover that and they would attack it and say, we said it. I was actually pulling up mainline journals saying it's making the frogs, quote, gay. Using that term to get people to look at it. And then I looked just last 3 hours, David Hogg, the spokesperson for gun control, and shows with Stephen Colbert and Thomas Middleditch claiming that I'm attacking him for being a beta male. When they had a big magazine cover saying the triumph of the beta male, I was saying they're mainlining and pushing the beta male. I wasn't attacking Mr. Middleditch or Mike Judge, who's a good friend of mine. I think Silicon Valley's a really funny show. I was just saying the media is pushing all this and admitting what I've said because they don't want you looking at it. They don't want you researching it because the additives and the chemicals and the whole deal is in the UN, UNESCO founding documents in 1947, the same year we got the National Security Act, to carry out this eugenics transhumanist operation.
For example, on InfoWars, one of his most famous statements is saying that tap water is turning the frogs gay and it will turn you gay too. First off, gay people are awesome. I don't think that's a problem at all. Alex Jones said, the globalists are teaching us to turn off our life force. It's a camouflage so the alpha males that are still left don't notice they're being taken control of and being enslaved.
Yeah.
Is this true? Is this true, 1000? Are you enslaving the alphabet? Because I consider myself a bit of an alphabet.
Oh, really?
So us having the normal human biology is now hurtful, so we accept the chemical override and celebrate it like David Hogg said. I'm not against people if they are biologically gay or inclined, as has been happening for thousands of years. I'm saying statistically the chemicals are predisposing this now in people, and we should have a real debate about it. Do you want to debate it, or just let them make a big joke out of it? Because they're scared of us having a discussion. And I didn't realize this was the heart of their operation until they attacked me so hard. Almost all their attacks every day are based on this because they want you to not look around you and see what's happening. What do you as viewers and listeners think we should do? I'm going to sing it real slow for you.
Well, initially we found that the larynx or the voice box in exposed males didn't grow properly. And this was an indication that the male hormone testosterone was not being produced at appropriate levels. And eventually we found that not only were these males demasculinized or chemically castrated, but they also were starting to develop ovaries or starting to develop eggs. And eventually we discovered that these males didn't breed properly, that some of the males actually completely turned into females. So we had genetic males that were laying eggs and reproducing as females. And now we're starting to show that some of these males actually show, I guess, what we call homosexual behavior. They actually prefer to mate with other males. Or what we call homosexual behavior. They actually prefer to mate with other males.
There's money in that. Beta. And secondly, if you notice at the end of that video, he advertises water filters. Interesting.
Clean, pure drinking water. You can't survive without it. But where do you get it? Alexa, and then super factory on 3139. Well, here we are in late March of 2019. We're finally all going to get what you wanted. Democrats, the liberals, the Soros, CNN. You're all going to get what you want. I was wrong. You were right. Trump is a betrayer, a liar. He sold us all out. I'm officially off the Trump train. I agree with the president's hardline supporters. We need to be impeached. And I guess it's all over. It's absolutely all over because the Republican and the Democrat House and Senate passed the spending bill. It's not their fault. Good people. And Trump signed it. It didn't matter that he said it was a scam. It was out of control. They were holding him hostage. It was cutting off military funding during North Korea, China, Russia. That's all. You want some of this, son? You want it? No. You want some of this, son? You want it? No. You want some of this, son? You want it? No. You want it? No. Rock you. Stop. You want some of this, son? You want it? To me. I says thank you. No hard feelings. Oh my. Good. They saw me. Look at that. Hard luck.
hard luck.
Non mi sale niente.
matter that he pointed out that we were trying to cut off border funding or veterans funding or old folks funding or Medicare or Medicaid or any of it. It's not the Republicans' fault in the House and Senate for passing the bill with all the pork barrel. It's not the Democrats' fault in the House and Senate. It's Trump's. And I don't care if he killed TPP the first week in office that was not elected and took over the country. I don't care if he brought back 2 million jobs in 14 months. I don't care if he brought back $300 billion in new funding, at least. I don't care if we got $4 trillion in the stock market. I don't care if China has huge tariffs on us, these sort of tariffs against the country. I don't care about that. I'm going with the crowd and what feels good at my own InfoWars listeners, commenting on InfoWars.com that I'm a traitor, that I planned all this to screw you over, and that Trump's this piece of crap and we should have elected Hillary. You're right. God, Hillary was good, man. Arab Spring, and Bill Clinton, and the globalists, and the deindustrialization, and missile secrets to communist China, and everything. Screw Trump renegotiating after the gap, securing the border, and breaking the back of political correctness, and doing all the things that have happened. Having the media and the globalists upset, it doesn't matter. You're right. And it's true, in that spending bill, $500 million for Planned Parenthood. And it's true, it's got like millions of dollars for transgender studies in Kenya, and millions of dollars for shrimp on treadmills. And it's not the fault of the Democrat congressmen and women that put that pork barrel on and held up all the military spending. It's Trump's fault. I'm starting to get the logic here of a victimized America that doesn't differentiate facts from fiction and just likes to feel pissed off. So now I sit back and I wish Hillary would have been elected. God, she's so strong, so virile, so amazing. The only person who can actually fly. Wright brothers thought they could fly, but planes, she's on record, she could fly. They said she was sick and fell down because that's the opposite of what she is. And the Wan brothers, Seth Rich, and all of it, I'm not appreciative for Trump for all the things he's gone through. I'm not appreciative of the fact his hands are tied. He can hold up the economy right when the globalists want to implode it. No, it's his fault. That nameless Democrat Republican Congress, they're getting points right now saying he failed, they won with a big bankruptcy plan. But let me get serious for you, give me the real news here. There's a couple different schools of thought. There's 3 schools of thought. There's authoritarianism, a feudalism model where nobody has money but the top 1%. There's a capitalism model that creates incredible wealth and decadence and a lot of problems, but it doesn't power people. And there's a crony capitalist model. And you see communist China, it's the opposite of communism. It's fascism by a tiny 1/10 of 1%, the Politburo of the Chinese dictator. They, on average, when you look it up, have 10 times the fiat fake currency the U.S. has for the size of their economy. And they have taken over the world's economics. They've taken over the earth minerals. They've taken over the computer chips. They've taken over it all. Because their elites put tariffs on America prohibitive for us to be able to even compete. And so they come out, and the CFR, the globalists, the traders in America, said the Chinese century's here. And then they leverage out all this debt, 10 times ours per capita, so they can buy up the majority of our debt in the last decade. And so they can lecture us, buy up Hollywood, buy up the universities, because they believe America's weak and we're all going to fall. And then Trump looks at that and says, well, I want to try to fix the budget. I want to cut taxes to bring in more revenue. I want to do all these good things, but I'm only 14, 15 months in. The globalists with the communist China allied are trying to destabilize us, trying to bring us down. So if Congress won't bring me a reasonable spending bill and make it pork barrel for us to get the things that are essential, I'm not a dictator. I'm going to go ahead and vote for that. I'm going to sign on to that and ask for a line item veto and ask for the power to stop that in the future. I don't have the power. But I'm not a dictator. The name of this video should be Trump, I'm not a dictator. And I can't turn the government off and Social Security checks and military checks and all this because your Congress, both Republican and Democrat, are holding us hostage. You, the people, we, the people, have to do something. And so he signs it. It's pragmatic. It's what he's always done. He understands that the Communist Chinese, the EU, they're all leveraged out debt-wise way more than we are. They're using that debt for elites to pass the debt on to people, but to buy up airports and infrastructure and mines and ships and companies. And America, for 50 years, has been behind the 8 ball, where we pay for it all, the globalists get it all. And so Trump's sitting back going, we can leverage our debt 10 times the Chinese have and actually put it in infrastructure. Globalists haven't done that for infrastructure here. They've done it for infrastructure in China. Trump's like, we can fight fire with fire. He goes, I'll take the moral road. I'll see if it's the right thing. And if they come in and try to balance this and fix it and give us spending in critical areas, but cut it in others, as he's already done in the federal government, and they just ignore that, then the cowardly Republicans, many of them, want to go to their constituents and say, see, Trump sold you out, he signed it, when they're the ones that went along with it when they had the control of the House and Senate. See how that works? And the Democrats, they go, hey, we got victory. Trump does what he wants. Yay, bankrupt everything. But here's the deal. China and India and the EU and all of them are creating exponential debt on the backs of their people, like Zimbabwe did. And the U.S. has been caught up in this fake libertarian movement of, oh, it doesn't matter if China's got a 20% or 30% tariff on us or the EU does. We call it free fair trade and just let them do it. Trump's already said no to that yesterday. And the next Congress passes this whole deal. So it's very pragmatic. It's very reality-based. If you know all facts, to say, I'm not a dictator. Congress did this. It's got a lot of pork barrel. It's a mess. He called it, ridiculous. He called it, what's the exact term he called it? A mess. But he said, I'm not a dictator. So we're going to go ahead with this. But please give me the power to light out of vetoes, which is constitutional. And please kill the filibuster. So a 51% in the Senate of Republicans could have killed all the Democrat spending. Because the bill's got to match up with the House and Senate. Well, the Democrats have a veto in the Senate. And so they got all this, and Trump sat by with them holding the country hostage, hoping we go belly up so China becomes preeminent. That's the point we were at. So he's held up in check because the globalists have the country in checkmate. And he's coming to the people saying, I've done everything I can on the one-sided trade deals, I've done everything I can on the border, on the veterans, on political correctness, on cutting regulations, even before I got tax cuts to bring stuff back. I've done what I can. I've tried as hard as I can. And you're just going to sit here and blame me. He didn't even say that. He said it's a mess. He'd give us the power to kill the filibuster in the Senate. The Senate rules. It was been like that for 50 years. You can give me the line of veto, and we'll be able to stop this next time. And so my issue is Trump doesn't deserve the mantle of the guy that sold us out signing that when the House and the Senate, Republicans and Democrats went for that. And when China and everybody else doesn't care, like Mexico or whoever, they're just leveraging all the debt for their elites to buy everything up, leaving it on their people. And then along comes Trump trying to fix that. It's an amazing time to be alive. So just as I'm talking to Trump on the phone or he's on the show, it's not some, I care less about Hollywood celebrities. Before I really knew a lot about Donald Trump, he ran for office. I didn't really like him. Casinos, hotels, some flashy guy. He was just doing that for his own PR for his companies. The real Donald Trump's dad was John Bircher. He was against NAFTA and GATT. He paid millions of dollars fighting it. He loves America. And he just wants a pragmatic, reciprocal trade deal with the globalists and what they've done. So that America isn't penalized and America isn't cornered and America doesn't get put down because a bunch of socialists that set this up in the 50s and 60s got a hard on for the country and full flower. So if you want the real boil down, if you want the facts of what really just happened, you just got it. You just got it. I'm sitting here on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and saying, why are you looking over here? Why are you looking over here? Why are you looking here? Because I got 3 cameras with hundreds of thousands watching right now, millions later. And, I saw him saying, I think I'm going to veto this. It's a really big, bad scam this morning. And then he gets up and says, I reluctantly do it because we're being held hostage and I don't have the power to control what Congress does, so I'm not going to hold the country up because the Chinese and everybody are command and control. And they're saying, don't worry, we can organize stuff no matter what. We can have 10 times the fake funding the U.S. does and inflation. We'll give all you big companies unlimited returns. If you just move here, we'll give you 0 tax. We don't have that here. You just invest with the Communist Party. That's all the news. And Trump sees that. He lowers taxes from 40 to 15. China goes from 15 to 0 this month. So if you pragmatically sit back and go, Trump just funded Planned Parenthood. You're seeing it from all the Republican sides. And Trump just looks out for the Democrats. It's the Republicans in Congress. And the fact that they've got that filibuster rule that allowed them to Senate through. It's okay. Here's the deal. Democrats are up here blamelized. Republican Congress, the Senate's right here. Republican House is here. Republicans want to sit there and make it Trump's fault, but you've got Democrat Senate because they've got that filibuster. It's basically Democrat Senate. It's not a majority. And then you've got the Republican House. Then you got Trump. So it's not about defending Trump. They hate him because he's for real trying to restore the republic and our free market systems. So it'd be easy to get up here and go, and YouTube would suddenly open up the gates, and Facebook would, and suddenly my videos would get 20 million views again. And I can go, that's it, I'm sick of Trump. God damn it, he sold us out, what a traitor. Why, he voted with the Democrats that planned to fund Planned Parenthood. And he did all these things. He sold out his whole thing he was going to do, except yesterday he took on the Communist Chinese. And the week before that, he defended the border. And the week before that, he got the tax cuts. And the week before that, he took out the mandate in Obamacare. And the week before that, he delivered everywhere he could. But he can't on this because it's the budget, and we have three branches of government. Legislative, that's the Congress. Judicial, that's the court. The executive, that's the president. The president doesn't even have full control of the executive. So the good news is populism is exploding everywhere. People are waking up to this. It's bigger than Trump. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. The Speaker of the House in Hungary, Republican exposed the globals today. It's on Infowars.com. Later now, it's all an anti-human, transhumanist takeover of the family. People are getting it, so that's the good news. So we don't rise and fall with Trump, but Trump's for real. He's just a throwback, just pro-American guy that says, we got world power, we're free market. Why should we shit on America and put it down some greater UN plan when America can be great and the whole world can be great? And they hold him hostage with military spending and everything else, and the military's paychecks, to say he's got to do this. And then the Republican establishment, which are a bunch of blue bloods, who just want to shift blame for themselves, the same ones that can't get the votes passed in the Senate to end the Democrat filibuster, sit there and play you like you're morons. The globalists, the establishment, are in panic mode because for the first time in modern history, we've got a president that isn't out to get the country. But it isn't about Trump. It's about all of us that got in there and realizing the point we're at right now. I'll be back Saturday 4 to 6 p.m. covering this live broadcast tomorrow. Get into it. We've got articles with 4,000 or 5,000 comments today. You know, Trump's base blows up at him. But I'm on the SJW, and I'm not somebody that doesn't know the facts, that doesn't know the angles to this. And I want prosperity. I want free market, and I know where we are. So if you just joined us, impeach Trump. Where would we be with Hillary right now? War, economic collapse, was all planned. It's not a lesser of two evils. And I'm not calling for Trump to be a dictator. Every time I say this, Media Matters, George Soros, Right Wing Watch, CNN, they'll say, Jones says Trump is a dictator, it's why he can't fix things. No, we don't want that. We're not North Korea, we're not China. We're more sophisticated. We want to empower the people. We believe in the ethos of the people. Well, they want to misrepresent our president as a dictator and then say he didn't do it, he didn't fix it. It's just like saying you didn't fix it or I didn't fix it. I know our system of government. He said, help me change this. Help me get a line item veto. Help me end the filibuster. This is horrible. This is a mess. God, they've got hundreds of millions for transgender brainwashing of children. They've got, millions of dollars for shrimp on treadmills. You know they're regular crap. And then Rand Paul, nice guy, but it's easy for him to sit there and play like he's on the outside, come in and bitch all day and say, oh, we're spending, act like Trump did it. I mean, he knows full and well it was the Republicans and the Democrats that voted for it and sent it to his desk. And I see Rand Paul just 30 minutes ago on TV like, well, Trump did this, Trump did that. And you're not the president, Rand Paul. You tried to, in the debates, play along with CNN and bash Trump and kind of get points. How'd that do for you? You got elected to the Senate when they were all against you because you were anti-establishment, because you went on the Patriot shows and you spoke out. We didn't need you, you needed us. And you keep thinking, playing both sides of the fence, acting all intellectual, when CNN hates you more than ever, and Joy Behar and all of them when you got physically attacked, and a bunch of the Democrats wished you were dead. They didn't even differentiate intellectually that you were siding with the Democrats a lot of the time, rhetorically. They wanted you dead anyways. And so, it's a joke. It's a joke. And it's a bunch of politicians hoping people don't pay attention to what you're doing and what you're up to. Trump has as much power over what happened in the Congress as the American people, which is a lot to influence them, but they got a bunch of special interests and a bunch of constituents that want them to get bigger pork barrel, and a bigger situation what Trump proposed was over $100 billion lower than what they proposed, was probably still too big. But I spent time studying the facts. I spent time looking at what Trump proposed. I spent a lot of damn hours knowing what I'm talking about. And it's not about defending Trump, it's about defending the truth. So why do you want Trump impeached? You want to sit there like you're holier than thou. Trump didn't pass the bill. So I got an idea for you. He signed it. He didn't pass it in the House and Senate. When you found out about the votes and the few hours they had to read it all, it is an abomination. It is a mess. It is a scam. Trump said that. When you find out who voted who and what's in the bill, and you've gone after those Republicans and Democrats that did it, and they've been defeated, and they've been punished, then we can talk about Trump. But it's like the Congress lit fire to the House, and then you bitch the fire department didn't show up soon enough. The communist Chinese are leveraging debt to buy the debt. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the future. They're at 10 times the debt barons and Harvard and others report. You know, these big rating agencies, and we are there, full-on walls of weaponized debt. Just like communists do everywhere to take over everything, short-term power. And America has a much bigger economy, so our debt's bigger than theirs in the aggregate, but not in the total, what they're doing and where it's about to go. And so Trump sees that and says, all right, America doesn't want to cut spending and increase the tax cuts for themselves and get things started. The least I can do is get these tariffs and cut these regulations and get some tax cuts. And then, all right, we'll just keep growing where we are, because if we signal that we're weak, if we signal that we're insolvent, if we signal now that we're not going to pay this fake debt, then it all implodes. Instead of with the globalist bankers keep leveraging the debt forever, and then they stay on board because it's all mentally ill, zeros and ones, and in the end, we politically cut their throats. And that's Trump's plan a couple of years from now. You think Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and the Federal Reserve and all these crooks in our end game, in my end game, we dance with those that are going to be there? No, they're not going to. So be sophisticated, folks. The bankers already got us in debt. They've already taken over. Now the judo move is what the communist Chinese and everybody have done, allied with them. See, there's a little sophisticated thing with the Heritage Foundation. It's for open trade, but it's one-sided. It tells them we shouldn't have debt and stuff, which we shouldn't. And then I'm all of the expert on that, the Federal Reserve and the gold system and how Greenspan used to be a patriot and read his book. Is that once they decide to go the debt route, they teach us conservatives to be against the debt route, because it's already going to happen anyways. But so we never realized our salvation against the globalists would be to jack up the debt to create jobs and infrastructure, and then double cross them later. And I'm not even saying do that, but that's what they fear, and that's why they fund all the libertarian think tanks to keep us from using the weapons the EU and the communist Chinese and the multinationals and the currency speculators have done, because everybody else is involved in currency devaluation, and we're not supposed to do it. And that's another way they capture the United States, and that's the big secret. Trump didn't do all this. Trump inherited it. And yes, Congress do the right thing. They didn't. So he looks at it, he goes, I'm not going to stall the economy. I'm not going to kill this. They're going to blame me. The stock market can go down 10,000 points if I do this. I warned the public. I told them the problem. I'm going to just keep the ship going, and I hope we can change this. We're all in the same position as Trump. That's what I'm trying to say. Media and the enemy and the establishment Republicans, they all tell you Trump is the enemy because they're scared of it, ladies and gentlemen. So I've explained this. And the media is so distracted, they'll probably take my clip saying impeach Trump or off the Trump train or any of this. But I saw it with Trump. So he legalized 800,000 DACA that have been here for 20 plus years, had no criminal records, had college degrees. He said he did that in the campaign. He said he hated all the Mexicans and wasn't going to let them in. He screwed us over on that. I was like, wow, I had the clips of him saying 2 years ago that it wasn't that. The Democrats came back with total open borders, globalism, total chain migration, and it's all dead. They got a reasonable DACA on the floor again. They killed that. That's what Trump does. And so I look at Trump as a very studied person. I'm very studied. I live this. And he makes moves ahead of what I would think of. I'm 44, he's 71. I'm really impressed with Trump these days. He's real. That's why they hate him so much. And he's very pragmatic now. And so I don't want the adulation of YouTube and Facebook letting me spread a video, because that's how it is when I go talk shit about the president. I mean, if he actually turns against us and screws us over, I will go to war with Trump and the Republican establishment he's been at war with. You know that. And I'm watching everything right now, but he's not a dictator. He's not God. It's not instant gratification. And he's gone through hell to get us this far. You know a man by his enemies. They are freaking out right now. So we've got 80% of what we want in 15 months. I didn't think he'd get this done in 4 years. He's dwarfed what Reagan ever did. And if we're a bunch of instant gratification assholes, we all want to piss ourselves and call for impeachment and do all this crap. Going, well, he funded Planned Parenthood. You're for killing babies now, boy. You were going to protest the Planned Parenthood like I have 50 times or more? You've been physically attacked by communists? Don't give me your crap. You ever adopted people like my family's done? You ever had folks on to stop black genocide in the mortuaries? I'm not keeping my mouth on. Trump's speaking out against Planned Parenthood. Trump's marching at pro-life rallies. No Republicans ever done that. You judge a tree by its fruits. He's trying to put it back in the states. States are banning abortion all across the country. 3 states last month. We're getting real change. We're getting somebody who's dedicated to this cause. And you can see it, and you can feel it. Now, he may fall. 71, I'm 44, and I'm tired. But everybody wants to impeach Trump. Everybody wants to bitch. And it's all part of being these victimology babies. I'm going to say it one last time. Did Trump pass the omnibus spending bill in the House and Senate? No. Did Trump say it was a nightmare and a total piece of garbage that had a lot of critical spending in it, and Americans should wake up and do something? Yeah, he did. All right. Everywhere he's got executive power on killing TPP, controlling the borders, shutting radical Islamists down, cutting regulations, getting tax cuts passed that was in the Congress, starting to gut Obamacare, and I run a company with over 100 employees. We're seeing that happen. Just a total scam to increase prices. He did it. This would be like if you had a soccer team or football team that scored 50 points in the first quarter to 0, and then they open up the second quarter and they get a goal, and you go, God damn it, I want to fire that coach. That's called fair weather shit. That's called sunshine patriots. Trump turns on us, I'll turn on him so fast it makes your head spin. Right now, I've looked at all the facts. That's what's in. So, you want to blame Trump? I blame you, and you. All of you, your constituents of that Congress, and they're the ones that did it. And all of you need to be impeached. All of you need to have your asses handed to. And all you dumbass liberals celebrate we just had a bigger deficit and all this crap. And oh, look, Trump signed it. And people are crazy. You think there'll be some socialist bankruptcy like Venezuela or Cuba or North Korea, and suddenly you're going to get a bunch of free shit and get people's mansions. You might get mansions, there's going to be ivy growing out of the top of it. You're going to eat the wild dogs that run around the street. Dumbasses. All your class enemy crap. You look at that sunset right there. Is it setting or is it rising on the Republic? Well, tonight it's setting. But I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I've done my homework. That's why they hate us so much. And the president's not a dictator, like I said 10 times already, probably. So that's it. You smart enough to figure this out? You're going to buy a bunch of BS Republican blue bloods just waiting to make their move. The establishment's crapping its britches right now because they know this is a real restoration of our republic. They know the engine of America can lead the world, lead us all in incredible prosperity. But you've had prosperity so long, some of you, maybe you don't appreciate it. But all the Republicans and all the Democrats, like being schmucks, keep believing mainstream media. As for me, I trust Trump, and so far he hasn't steered us wrong. I'm Alex Jones, and this is the InfoWar.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are in resistance.
This whole thing's coming down sometime. It's already inflated. The grandkids are already screwed. It's already over. We got to bring emergency industry back. We got to bring optimism, nationalism, and culture back, and sovereignty. And you can do anything when you have that.
You're anti-American. I'm an anti-American. Yeah, stupid bastard. I hate you. No matter what the globalists want to do, no matter what politicians want to do, this country is going to make it.
We will look back on tonight as when this new chapter of American greatness began.
The War Room. Infowars.com/show.
You know, it's actually interesting watching the response. I mean, this of all the things that Trump has done that's gotten him in hot water with his base, I think the airstrikes in Syria. I can't even think about the other ones. There's been like 4 or 5 where people have wondered what the heck is going on here. Some of the other things that he said, threatening to make the deal with DACA, amnesty for all, other stuff like that. The comments he made about banning firearms, and he'd work with Democrats, and then Dianne Feinstein went into like Wicked Witch of the West mode and was literally like, I will get the gun. Yeah. So there's always been these moments where Trump has landed himself in hot water with his base. The only time where I was ever fuming over actions from President Trump was when they did the Syrian airstrikes claiming Assad used chemical weapons, which I believe is a false narrative, false flag, and then it turns out all of the fields and bases abandoned by the Syrian rebels, well, they left tons and tons of chemical weapons. Oh, so it turns out to be the Syrian rebels that John McCain brags about being friends with. Right, okay, and then you look at the airstrikes that we did have in Syria, and it turned out to be more cosmetic, if you will, and not really do much damage. But this bill deal, I mean, people are really upset. And I was just on Twitter during the break kind of looking at some of the comments. But I have to say, why do Republicans, I shouldn't say that, why are Trump supporters now, I mean, I'm literally seeing Trump supporters calling for impeachment now. And it's just like, are you insane? I'll even say, let's say Trump gets an F. Let's say Trump gets an F for the budget bill. Okay, well, look at all the A's he's gotten. Look at all the B's he's gotten. Look at how he's trying to save America. Look at how he's landed under attack, his family under attack. I mean, he's put it all on the line. I love the analogy Alex gave yesterday, just to give us life support before we die. Yeah, again, just to give us a little wet rag on our towel, a towel on our forehead while they're slashing us to death. And then one bad budget deal gets done, which I agree, I think it's a bad deal. And then I see big Trump supporters on Twitter saying, impeach, this is it, he's the worst ever, how could we? Let's not forget who Trump kept out of office. Hillary Clinton. It's like Trump does one thing. This is how short-sighted. This is how the attention deficit has totally taken over. Even conservatives, even people that claim they're woke, red-pilled, what have you. Trump does one thing, and you just everything else he's done under the bus as if it didn't happen. He's the worst. How did we elect him? Oh my God, he's terrible. When it's like, you know, you knew Trump wasn't a purist. He didn't really campaign. I mean, he mentioned it. He didn't his biggest campaign deals were cutting into the budgets or the debt. I just don't get it, and I just feel, I don't want to say, it's just like betrayal, you know? It's really just like betrayal. And they'll say, well, Trump is the one that betrayed us. Trump's betraying us. This is, again, you have to look at the overall body of work. Even if this deal gets an F, Trump still gets at least a C or a B overall. Hillary Clinton, you wouldn't even be allowed to give her a grade because you'd be in the grave. So I just don't get it. And you know what it is, though? Everyone wants to be noticed. Everyone wants to be cutting edge. And so everybody has to come out and be the first one against Trump because of bad budget. Oh, he's going sour now. I'll be the one in the lead. I'll say Trump's bad first. And then it creates like this snowball effect where you think you're like out on the edge of news now because you think Trump's going sour. And if you report it first, you're breaking the big news. So again, let's wait and see. I don't think this is a good budget deal. I've been complaining about it for almost a whole hour here. But I'm not about to throw Trump overboard as if he isn't still fighting for America. I mean, that's just absurd to me. That's just absurd to me. But let's go back out to the phone lines. We've got Jason calling in from California. First-time caller. Glad to have you on, Jason. Do you think that Congress deserves a bonus?
No, Congress does not deserve a bonus whatsoever. And hello on how you doing today.
Glad to hear from you. I couldn't agree more. I don't know what Congress has done to deserve a bonus. The only members of Congress that I see working hard to deserve a bonus are the members of the Senate and House Intel committees that are exposing all the DOJ, FBI, Clinton corruption.
Yeah. And one thing, I'm not too happy with this bill, but I don't blame Trump. I blame the Democrats who are actually tyrants. I just consider the Democratic Party a tyrannical party, period.
Yeah, they are. They're authoritarians.
Using kids to push their agenda. I mean, to me, using kids as a wall to push any type of agenda or just as a physical wall, because I served in the Marine Corps, I consider that to be a cowardly act. I consider them to be cowards, and I believe, and I really see that what the Democrats did, they used the filibuster rule to cheat and kind of put Trump in a corner. So I don't blame Trump.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that, actually. Just while I have this thought in my head, as soon as you say that, because Trump did complain about the filibuster rule. He said we need to change the filibuster rule. And he complained about the veto rule, where he wished he could do a line-by-line veto, essentially taking and look at each funding aspect of the bill, and you could veto it line by line instead of vetoing the whole bill. And now Ron DeSantis, Congressman out of Florida, is talking about writing up rules for a potential line-by-line veto in the future. So maybe there's something they can do about those things in the future, Jason.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not totally happy, but I also don't blame Trump. I believe the Democrats really cheated, and by using the filibuster rule, by not giving a lot of people enough time to read the law or read the bill and say, hey, listen, you know, we're not going to pass this. Because I think also in the bill, there's also a law that was put into the bill that would make building the wall illegal. I believe Alex said it before the war room has started. So,
yeah, in fact, you know what? We've got Alex, who is ready to come on with us now to talk about this. Thank you for the call, Jason. Thank you for your service as well. You know, Alex, we're seeing the news develop and people start to comment on the bill. What's going through your head right now?
Well, I was sitting in my office watching you 5 minutes ago. That's why I walked over here. And you're making the point that I even seen on Drudge. I'm not disagreeing with Drudge. Drudge is just showing people saying, you know, impeachment, it's over. They've blown the deficit into oblivion. China, the globalists, the EU, they're all inflating everything like Zimbabwe. China's probably got 10 times the real inflation of money printing we do. That's how they bought the majority of our debt, was inflating their debt. So Trump gets, this whole thing's coming down sometime. It's already inflated. The grandkids are already screwed. It's already over. We got to bring emergency industry back. We got to bring optimism, nationalism, and culture back, and sovereignty, and then you can do anything once you have that. We're dead already. It's like Wrath of Khan, where Spock goes in to fix the Enterprise, and they go, hey, let him out. Yeah, he's dead already. Look, the dollar, the currency, the inflation, it's already here, folks. And I was one that was all against it and fought it. I really looked at it. I'm not just siding with Trump here, because I'm critical of him not coming out against vaccines like he said he would other things. But he just did the big tariffs against the Chinese screwing us over. It's for real. For the globalizating. And he called it a disaster, a mess. They gave him this big mess. They want to hold the economy up. They know it's on the verge of from lifting off like a rocket to boom, blowing up on the ground. So it's not a perfect call. But we're already so fiat, we're already so gone, we're already so screwed that it's not like we're inflating like Mexico did 10,000% or Zimbabwe 1 billion% or something. Germany, 10 million% if they did. And it could lead to that. We're going to end up inflating the next probably decade, 20-30%. It's going to be bad. But we're screwed already. And so pragmatically, he's not a dictator. The Democrats did this. They want to hold it up. This is going on. Cutting regulations, cutting taxes, all that's real money back here, real jobs that matter. The dollar, it's blown out. It's like a woman's already had 15 kids. You say, we can't let her get pregnant. She's a virgin. It's already gone. It's already gone. And really pragmatically, that Trump understands that, he is at least trying to let the bubble build infrastructure and create a new culture to get us online. We were supposed to already implode and bring in world government. Well, I just realized, too, Trump, you come back, but that's the bottom line. Imagine if Hillary was in right now. That's the pragmatic view. That's the facts. And the whole world's waking up. That's what matters.
And I just realized, too, the Democrats are bragging about this as if it's a victory, while Trump is saying it's a disaster. So wouldn't that hurt the Democrats in the primary if it's so bad?
I'm so excited. The new product at InfoWarsLife.com, in a glass bottle, 2-month servings, filled to the brim, filled to the absolute top, the real red pill. This is a heart and brain pill, a nootropic that doesn't have any stimulants in it. But boy, does it stimulate, because it's beyond that. Quite frankly, I just went off what I saw medical doctors prescribing to their patients, but it wasn't a prescription, but they were charging people $100, $200 for the formulae. And I came up with our own formula, working with some scientists and developers, non-GMO, made right here in America, 120 capsules. And ladies and gentlemen, you add the pregnenolone to it, which is the precursor to all the hormones that your body has to have to even make the hormones in your glands. It is amazing. Red pill, now available at InfoWarsStore.com, and your purchase funds the operation.
InfoWars Life is bringing you a breakthrough in modern medicine. Introducing Pollen Block. We have found an extraordinary new, natural way to alleviate seasonal distress symptoms, including promoting clear nasal and sinus passageways, eye comfort, and respiratory function. In the 1960s, researchers in France noticed that people who ate certain quail eggs experienced less seasonal immune and inflammatory responses. They began studying this effect in published trials, and decades later, we now have the fruit of this research, a fast-acting, chewable tablet that helps alleviate seasonal distress symptoms. Pollen Block is natural and effective. It is not an antihistamine. In fact, current research has found that it actually acts by blocking the activity of tryptase, which is an enzyme that amplifies immune and inflammatory responses in the body. Go outside and enjoy the air you breathe. Head to InfoWarsLife.com and grab a pack of our Pollen Block chewable tablets.
Make no mistake, we've made some major gains against the globalists, but they're striking back all over the world. Now more than ever is the time to get prepared for the highest quality emergency supplies across the board. Medical supplies, emergency supplies, communications, tactical, it's all there. We're adding more and more every day of the very best products out there. So go to FortifiedSupply.com today to not just see the great products we offer there, but links to some of the other great sponsors that we have as well. That's FortifiedSupply.com.
InfoWars.com. But I'm no longer Rex Jones. I'm Chad Gunderson from News 7, a liberal news organization, which I am. I'm here to see what insane gun accessories and gun laws we actually believe exist. Do you think that the semi-automatic nozzle should be banned on most AR-15s? This is a device which lets the user screw off the barrel of the gun and convert it into a semi-automatic Uzi-like weapon for more damage in those areas. See that right there? That, in fact, is the nozzle right there. Do you think that should be banned? It's good to talk to people that know what they're talking about. This is awesome. What are your thoughts on bump stocks?
I think they should be illegal.
Yeah, they're absolutely horrible. It allows you to turn a semi-automatic weapon into a fully automatic weapon. Totally illegal. And what are your thoughts on the bullet button? It switches through modes of fire. Incredibly dangerous. This is one of the things the NRA loves.
I don't want to be on the news, but I will tell you that I think anything that makes it easier to kill more people in a short amount of time is bad and should be illegal.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am. Common sense gun reform.
Sorry?
Thoughts on common sense gun reform? Any opinions?
Ban guns.
Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. I'd say a good opinion right there. Are you aware of the new apparatus the NRA is shipping out? It's these modified bump stocks, turning any semi-automatic weapon into a fully automatic weapon?
Yeah, I think I probably heard of that. I'm definitely against that.
Well, it's this apparatus right here. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Highly dangerous. In some cases, people are even fitting blades into them so they can use it as a hacksaw for more damage. What would you say? What do we need now? What kind of legislation?
I mean, we need to ban these types of automatic and, the military.
I'm so sorry about that. The fully semi-automatic weapons?
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason that a citizen needs something like that.
Absolutely. Did you know that screws off and becomes an even more deadly Uzi-like weapon?
I mean, yeah. It's already deadly enough, I think, already.
The thing is any American can go and purchase one of those using their civil liberties, and that's absolutely horrible. Thank you. Thank you for your opinion. Thank you so much. A great example of how the average liberal SJW is so stupid and uneducated on the matters of gun control that they'll just believe anything to feed them. I mean, the things that I'm making up could not be more fake. A bullet button? A hacksaw bump stock? Come on, people. Anyone with like half a brain cell should be able to recognize this stuff. A lot of people know about the bump stocks. You're well educated. You know about them. But not a lot of people know about the screw-up nozzle that the newer AR-15s are capable of. See, and specialized forms like this one, you're able to actually screw up the top of this one, and it turns into an even more highly lethal Uzi-like weapon. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
I'm not entirely, I don't know anything about that too much. So I really know, but I mean, the idea that it sounds a lot more.
It's newer technology. The NRA and actually a couple of senators are working on getting this technology into the United States. Highly dangerous to screw off nozzle there. And I think it's just absolutely wonderful that a citizen like you is open to common sense gun reform. Thank you, sir. Please, if you would all give a moment of your time, we'd really appreciate it. Here, would you step back here, please? Thank you, sir. What are your thoughts on common sense gun reform and control?
I support common sense gun reform.
Thank you. It's common sense. People don't need weapons of war.
LBJ presidential library, and they had guns just like this. And they said weapons of war in the glass. And I was thinking to myself, I could buy these at sources already.
That is a great observation. Are you aware of the bullet house fire mode, and are you aware of the bump stock? Because any weapon can be set into a fully automatic weapon ready to kill hundreds of people?
I am. I don't understand how that's legal.
I mean, what candidates are you supporting that support things like this?
Well, it seems like a standard platform.
That's what I like. I feel as if the Republican ideals of the Second Amendment are really outdated now that we have weapons like this. We're meant for muskets in reality. Look at the history. It was meant for weapons that could fire one shot a minute. Only the government should have weapons like this. Don't you agree?
I agree.
Thanks. And just in closing, I know we've taken up so much of your time. I appreciate it. I think you're an intellectual. I really appreciate you commenting on this. what is your opinion on the 1,000-yard sight that is totally legal and people can snipe whoever they want?
Well, I think it's necessary for hunting.
Oh yeah, for hunting, but we have like metal and wood. It's a good rule of thumb. We have rifles that are meant for hunting. This is meant to kill people.
Yeah, why it's legal to attach to a weapon that should be banned, I don't understand.
The 223, it's a heavy round. It's meant to take out armor-piercing plates. It's what the military uses. It's just a slightly less powerful version of the M16, which the military uses. So you agree with me? Weapons like this should be banned, right?
I do. I don't think weapons of war should be able to be bought by anyone who's over 18.
Anyone who has a weapon which is capable to add blades on, telescopic sight, sniping people, having weapons like this which have an unscrewable nozzle where you can pull it out and it functions just identically to an Uzi. That's incredibly illegal, but it's to our NRA and the Second Amendment. That should be abolished by it.
So I think the right to protect yourself, you don't need a weapon like this to protect yourself at home, and you don't need a weapon like this to be a good hunter.
Oh, just get a can of pepper spray. I mean, come on. You don't need AK-17s and AR-15s and 12s. You don't need weapons like that, do you?
ARs, 7.
Thank you, sir. Can I shake your hand really quick? I love meeting people like you, people that know about it. Vote. Get out there and vote. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Here from News 7, a complete bullcrap agency where we sell fake gun control laws.
And just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
No one needs a bump stock, right? No. I mean, bump stocks are able to turn any gun into a fully automatic weapon. And in some cases, like the Las Vegas shooter, people are attaching blades to them. That's not okay, right? It's not okay.
I'm okay for people that honey, but why do you need that kind of gun? Nobody
you don't need this kind of weaponry. I mean, it's absurd. I mean, to protect yourself, get a shotgun. You don't need a fully semi-automatic weapon. Get some pepper spray. I mean, amen, people.
Why a shotgun? Why a shotgun?
Thank you. Non-lethals. I mean, we have such a wide range. It's not muskets anymore. People buy weapons like this trying to protect themselves and their families. That's ridiculous. Single shot or no shots at all. That's what I say. What are your thoughts on this, ma'am?
I believe in personal protection, but automatic weapons.
What are your thoughts about the bullet button? Once you switch to the modes of fire, it should be highly legal, right?
The modes of fire should be highly illegal, you say?
The bullet button, it lets you shoot.
I don't know about a bullet button.
Well, that's what the NRA has been trying to cover up by paying up politicians with the bullet button.
Oh, I would be against it. In fact, I think we should regulate bullets more than guns.
Oh, actually, I mean, you take a hollow point bullet. I mean, those things can pierce through cars. It's on fully automatic. When a hollow point bullet's on fully automatic, it can go through a person's head. I'm sorry for the gross imagery, like a watermelon. It should be highly legal, right? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with that. There's no reason for it. All we need is
I mean, anyone can go into an academy now and purchase a weapon of war. This should be illegal. I'm sick of this, and I'm sick of this crap. We need common sense gun reform now, in my opinion. Thank you so much. Thank you. Shake your hand. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, we're a new news organization. We're trying to be like the new BuzzFeed. We're based in Austin.
I would love it. Thank you so much. You're going to save us all.
So much. Can I get a round of applause for you? Thank you so much. I'm Jeff Gleason here for News 7.
InfoWars Life is bringing you a breakthrough in modern medicine. Introducing pollen block. We have found an extraordinary new, natural way to alleviate seasonal distress symptoms, including clear nasal and sinus passageways, eye comfort, and respiratory function. In the 1960s, researchers in France noticed that people who ate certain quail eggs experienced less seasonal immune and inflammatory responses. They began studying this effect in published trials, and decades later, we now have the fruit of this research, a fast-acting, chewable tablet that helps alleviate seasonal distress symptoms.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Owen Schroyer here from Infowars.com. My live broadcast was interrupted, so I just decided to shut that down and go to the camera roll here. So we're live in Austin, Texas at the Gun Control March. We've already got some incredible video from earlier, and now we're just trying to talk to people. Why are you flicking me off, man? All right, good conversation, really intellectual, very classy. So that's what we deal with out here. Now, I may have to find this guy again. I don't know when it got cut off, but I was talking to this guy who had an F Trump shirt on, and he's one of the dumbest people that you've ever seen. And it was right when I was talking to him that it cut out. So I'm not sure how much we got of that, and I think he ran away now. But, man, that would have been epic stuff. All right, so here was the deal. I was trying to work my way around the Capitol here to just show you the crowd that's out here. And so I'll get back to that now. Again, the live feed was unfortunately interrupted, so I just shut that down to go to the camera roll here. So Owen Schroyer for Infowars.com. I'm in Austin, Texas. I'm at the March for Our Lives, where you can go check from earlier videos. I asked all of them why they're marching, and none of them answered. Literally not one. It was the most incredible thing you've ever seen. And it happens every time, these kids do. You know, it happens every darn time. Maybe they just get so triggered when they see an NRA ad, they just can't even think. Their mind literally just shuts down. See, it's just sad that the youth gets brainwashed like this. That happened to me, too. I used to feel the same way as these kids, and I researched history, and I found out that gun control is not the answer. Yeah, see, they laugh because they don't get taught history, and they think it's funny. What's wrong with Infowars? Yeah, walk away. Hey, what's wrong with Infowars? Yeah, take a picture. I'm like a Bigfoot, right? I'm like